This is Indianapolis. This is home. This is where we live and learn and work. This is where our stories unfold. Some go back generations, and some are just beginning. Indianapolis is home to opportunity, accessibility, and innovation. We are proud locals and transplants who've made Indy our home. We're white collar, blue collar, and no collar. We're rule breakers and traditionalists. We love our neighborhoods and our neighbors.
It's amazing. There's so many great neighborhoods right in the middle of the city. The housing market is one of the best in the country.
We love the way our city swings and sways. We're passionate about the present and proud of our roots. We are makers, movers, and doers. We are educators, professionals, and builders.
Here, if you have a dream, you can actually achieve it.
The story of our city is the story of our people. And in many ways, that story is only beginning. Because Indy is not only what we've been or what we are, but what we are becoming. And what we're becoming is something beautiful. Imagine the place you really want to live. A place that is welcoming.
Accessible.
Easy to get around.
A place where you can create any lifestyle you want.
Diverse.
Smart. And a whole lot of fun.
That's Indy, and you should be here. So become part of a city that's ready to embrace your dream. This is Indianapolis. This is home.
This is Edge of Indy, showcasing Indianapolis tech trends, marketing industry champions, and business innovation. Broadcasting from Edge Media Studios. Now, let's get back to today's topic.
I need a tissue.
Hey, I've got to talk to the watchers and listeners of Edge of Indy quickly. If you've heard the audio and didn't see the video, we implore you to jump on and watch the video over at the Facebook page. I got to tell you, that's probably the proudest video that I've had on the show. Just demonstrating Indianapolis and everything that we're about. It's just amazing.
Thank you.
It
made me want to cry.
I honestly did. I'm overcleansed. Talk amongst yourselves.
It invokes the emotions.
Oh my gosh.
Really well done.
Thank you.
That
Really
was
well done.
fantastic. Let's introduce you to our guests here from IndyHub. We have Molly Xavier. Shavers, executive. Yeah, absolutely. Hey,
She dared him to do it.
we had a bet. Executive director of IndyHub, and Laura Granieri. Right?
Yeah.
There we go.
You could have said Granieri.
You kind of overkill.
That's true.
And she's the communications manager of IndyHub. Well done, ladies, on that
you.
presentation.
That's incredible.
Honestly, it was amazing just seeing everything that you put into that. And that is authentic messaging of Indianapolis. So thank you so much for just doing that video.
That was great.
Welcome back. I mean, the last time you were here, I mean, it's been a while. So how are things going over at IndyHub?
Things are great. I think you were talking to our colleague,
Yes.
Ashley, and
How
one
is
of our
she?
board members.
She's lovely.
Fabulous.
She's
She
great.
said to tell you all hi.
We hope she's watching. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ash. Hi, Carissa. But yeah, we have. It's been almost a year, or half a year, I guess. 6 months?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice half a year check-in with you guys every once in a while.
That's fantastic.
It's like a health check.
Yeah, it is. Dental
Little pulse-
cleaning.
Pulse check.
Well, for our listeners and our viewers that don't know what IndyHub is, can you kind of encapsulate? Just tell us what IndyHub's all about.
Sure. IndyHub is an advocate and a resource for 20 and 30-somethings here in Indianapolis. And so, that depends, what that looks like depends on the person. So we have a lot of newcomers who are sent to us who are looking to engage in the city in new volunteer opportunities, or they've just moved here and they're looking to get their feet on the ground and find a group that they can kind of call home and make some new friends. But it's not excluded to just people that are new. Obviously, there are a lot of people that are looking to plug into different events or become involved in the community, and that's kind of where we get everybody engaged.
You all are really here to tell us more about a relatively new initiative, and that's No Mean City. Can you give us kind of the background on that, and then tell us what it should mean to Indianapolis to be considered a No Mean City?
Yes. Well, maybe we start with there.
Okay.
Start with that
Yes,
point.
please.
So,
In any order you'd like.
okay.
It's your segment. Stop controlling the guest.
Excuse me, Miss Chafiers. I'm sorry.
My husband's so proud right now. You butchered your last name, your family heritage.
I'm sorry. She dared me.
It is Shavers, but yes, nonetheless, fancy is better. No Mean City actually is a reference to former mayor, 1909 Charles Bookwalder, referred to Indianapolis as a no mean city, not an average city. So it's actually inscribed in the cornerstone of City Hall, old City Hall that is, and it's also been something that former President Benjamin Harrison referred to Indianapolis as. So it really does go deep into our history. It also, I think the first reference is the Bible, but I don't think they were talking about Indianapolis. So it's,
Well, who's to really say that?
I mean, really, truly. But to answer your more specific question is, who's it for? What is it? Why did we do this? This kind of goes back to a lot of different issues that we're trying to address here, or opportunities, as I like to think of them. The first is that Indianapolis is a place that if you, whether you're talking to a current resident or maybe somebody outside of the city who's never been here, either way, we don't always talk about the city in the most appreciative of ways. We're not always able to kind of point to the good stories or the opportunities that are happening here, when truly we are anything but an average city. We're bold. Many would say we're a progressive city when it comes to certain topics and certain issues. We take stands on important things. And we really want to help the community uncover those very special things, and also to help the world discover Indianapolis. So it's also serves a practical purpose in that people can find information about schools and homes and other things that are important when we're trying to attract talent to our city.
You, as well as the previous guest, are on a mission of just not collating information, but demonstrating how valuable our city is and how unique it is. And with such a group of contributors into IndyHub, you're constantly able to showcase and shine on organizations and events and locations that need that exposure, that don't regularly get exposure from mainstream, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we really do. We were sitting in the green room listening to Brittany and thinking like, yeah, this is like for young professionals, 20 and 30 somethings, creative types, and what she's doing is very similar for children and parents, families.
Absolutely. So your team represents and advocates on behalf of the largest network of 20 and 30 somethings in Indianapolis. So why should that demographic in particular, certainly I'm offended by all this, realize that, be motivated
Me
by
too.
All right,
cool.
fine. All right, there we go. All right, game on. It's us versus them. Why should they be motivated by the No Mean City movement?
That's a really good question. And it's so interesting because while we think of them a little bit separately, we have IndyHub and No Mean City, there is a lot of overlap. And so I think a lot of young people today are really engaged in the communities that they live in, and they find passion behind, the neighborhoods and the cities that they decide and choose to live in. And a lot of times it is selecting. It's not necessarily where people find a job and move to a city because of finding the job first. They decide where they want to live before they actually go there and find the job. And so I think finding that sense of community and that sense of place, it's not something that we're necessarily having to tell people to do. It's just happening naturally.
Even better.
Well, I mean, yeah, and what you're speaking about is a kind of a reversal of what traditionally has been, job first, locale second, right? And this dials in directly to the millennial mindset. Is, as much as I can see it from afar, is that it's cause oriented. It's millennials want to find a place to plug in and be able to give back, and from an online access and a space where people can find that information. Different cities are actually raising up content to be able to showcase, what's going on, but also how different cities are. So what you're doing, can you actually compare that to other cities that are also kind of stepping up and not doing the tourism thing, right?
Yeah.
But actually defining and differentiating and showing the differentiations of organizations. Are other cities doing something like this?
There are other cities. In fact, Baltimore has an initiative called Live Baltimore. Actually, most American cities have some sort of effort. Ours, in fact, is also encouraging people, while we are a region and we have some amazing assets from a region, Marion County is often overlooked as a place for families to choose. In some cases, that's because people think the school systems are better in the suburbs or they're going to get a bigger home. But really what we've found is some of the issue is just understanding and being able to navigate the channels. And so these are all tools that allow people that ease, whether you've been here for years or you're trying to figure out how you're, going to stay in Indianapolis, or if you're trying to arrive to Indianapolis. So this is a long game effort, as you know. I mean, we have Baltimore has invested a lot of money in this. Orlando has done a recent campaign too. I think it's maybe in the last couple of years, called "You Don't Know the Half of It." Columbus, Ohio did one called Move C-Bus, and there are different approaches. We are constantly trying to figure out how do we fine-tune our approach to make it more of a searchable effort, to make it more of a viral effort, to make it something that is both practical but also not too salesy. And so that's something that, from the kind of the insider's view, we're trying to do, that all cities are trying to do.
You're really trying to make this a citizen's guide, too. It's not just you all getting on there and telling people why they should love this city. You really want to engage with people and have them contribute into the space, too. Can you tell us and the viewers and listeners, in what ways you want them to get engaged about this and feed your content with their own intake?
Yeah. So all of our writers and photographers are local, and we pride ourselves on engaging with the local artists in the community to provide that content, because oftentimes they're the best people to, push that out there. And so if you are a writer or a photographer, we would love to talk to you. If you have story ideas, you can submit those to info@nomeancity.com. But we also have social media channels in addition to the website. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you can engage in addition to pumping out our stories and sharing our content within our audiences. We also like to share our partner organizations. So like Visit Indy, and there's a lot of other great organizations who are supporting our work, and we love sharing the great videos and articles that they're also writing, because it all really just kind of works together.
Yeah, same mission, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Over the summertime, or maybe over different times of the year, you might also see a No Means City social takeover. So you'll see Indianapolis through the eyes of other organizations that we partner with, too.
That's very cool.
So you also have an initiative that you're launching, or you launched the 2017 Millennial Voices Report.
We are about to launch any day now. We're all waiting with bated breath. But yes, IndyHub, Laura mentioned that we are a resource and an advocate. And we don't just kind of put our finger to the wind and say, what does this feel like? Like, we really do want to understand. We want to go deeper with the 20 and 30-something community here. Right. This is a generation that has changed the face of cities. It continues to. It's a generation that is involved in their cities and is connected to their cities. And lawmakers and politicians and policy leaders need to understand what their perceptions are. So we'll be launching that in the next couple of weeks. We're super excited.
Let us know when you do, and we'll share it as well.
Thank you.
Of course.
definitely.
Of course.
That's all, and that's probably pretty unique to different cities that they actually take that much time to dedicate to really get a good data-oriented guidance, but as opposed to just going by the gut or what people perceive as a millennial mindset. Because that's the challenging thing, is that as you kind of unpack what millennial is, the stigma's falling off, right? Yeah. And there's a whole other dimension of what it means. It's almost this digital native immersion of where the new media audience is, right? So it's not just the age, it's also how you're consuming content and where your consumers are and what they're going to do with it, right?
Yeah. Are you seeing more and more engagement among the millennial community at this point? I mean, through IndyHub, I imagine you have a good pulse on, are they hungry to engage with organizations like yours? Are they hungry to really make roots here in Indianapolis? Kind of unpack that for us if you can.
Well, I'll offer up that, IndyHub is not a membership organization.
Sure.
So we are open to everybody. We try to really provide that service to people to find what matters to them. Success to us is helping everybody find something that's meaningful to engage with. We think that that's an incredibly effective retention tool for our community, for our corporations, for our small firms and civic organizations. And so it is something that I would say is unique to Indianapolis, is just the plethora of opportunities that are out there and the great desire from our civic organizations to have this perspective infused into their organizations. And I would say, year after year, IndyVolved is a great touch point for us, where we can see that event growing.
Such a good event.
Oh, thank you. It's so much fun.
The best.
It's a big fun fair. Yeah. Like, come and figure out what you want to get involved in. And this year it's June 14th.
Oh, cool.
Again at the Central Library.
Great location for that too.
Absolutely, and it's just amazing. 100 different organizations, if not more, that come out there, and you will find a brand alignment. You'll find a connection to the why connection, and that's part of what all citizens of Indianapolis really should plug into.
And it's not an aggressive. It's not like people with pamphlets knocking you over. Like, take our information and like hook up with us. Like, we want you to be. It's so laid back and low key and very authentic in terms of like just organic conversations. It's such a good event. I cannot recommend it enough.
Thank you.
Of course.
So, if I could ask you, what do you have to say to millennials that might be looking for an outlet like IndyHub that aren't engaged yet with the community? Why is Indy kind of worth investing in, where time and energy and engagement are concerned?
From a millennial perspective,
which I appreciate.
Which I try not to use that word, but we've already thrown it out there. So I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I went to Ball State, and my parents kind of just expected me to move back home afterwards. But I came to Indianapolis because a lot of our projects through the urban planning program at Ball State were focused on downtown Indianapolis. And so I kind of just fell in love with the city. And I think a lot of people are recognizing, in the 5 years that I've lived here, the city has just drastically changed. And especially in Indianapolis, you can, at a young age, you can become a part of the things that are helping to change the city. And I think that's very attractive to people, especially in the 20 and 30 age range.
I agree. Falling within that same bracket. I completely agree. As far as what's left of 2018, it's like still at the beginning.
Feels like it's flying.
It's flying.
Whoa, it's March.
January was a little long for me.
Yeah.
January felt like a whole year in and of itself. But through the rest of 2018, what does IndyHub have planned? What can we look forward to? What do you got popping?
Oh my goodness.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Girl.
We are in the middle, which we haven't really publicized this. We're in the middle of a website redo. So we'll be launching our new website probably close to IndyVolved. So around this summer, we'll be kicking things off with a little website refresh, which is very exciting.
Excellent.
Our summertime event series is called Hello Neighbor. We might have touched on that a little bit last time, but basically it's neighborhood tours. And so we do it by walking, by biking, and we really give people a snapshot of what it's like to live in certain neighborhoods in Indy. So stay tuned for that starting in June.
We have a Think and Drink with Sun
our
King.
next event.
Our next event on March 5th, I believe, and that's with the event Rev Indy, which supports the Method or IU Health Foundation. So we will be doing some really cool giveaways that night. It's at Sun King Brewing downtown. And then Passport to the Arts, which is another signature program we love. It's a ticket sampler we do every winter. It's kind of our winter series. This year, we have chosen the Indianapolis Ballet. We had that last weekend.
Cool. Awesome.
We have single tickets available for the opera coming up in March, and then ISO. I don't know. I think that one sold out.
There might be a few tickets left, but that's the show with Josh Kaufman. Yeah. So
local. Oh, Josh. I haven't met him yet. I'm surprised we haven't.
Oh my gosh! Right after he won, I ran into him in FedEx.
Did you talk to him?
I was just like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, can I take your picture? And I just like stood there and he's like
with him or just of him?
It was
of him.
Yeah. I remember seeing, because that was before I worked at IndyHub, and I saw it on the Instagram account, and I was like, oh, it's Josh.
That's so
I kind
weird.
of
I took a picture of him in FedEx. I
kind of love it.
Just making copies.
Got a big deal he's got to sign or something. I don't know.
Josh, what are you copying?
It's pretty cool. He's probably like, oh, I remember that girl. She was bizarre. I knew I made it.
You might be on a list now, but that's totally
like
right.
a copy stalker.
I'm
And
so
gosh.
sorry. Oh dear.
But yeah, in addition to our own events, we love to publicize the other events that are happening in the community, especially free events that are kind of tailored towards our audience. And so you can go on our calendar at any point in time, and events are submitted daily. So it's a really good snapshot at, like, if you don't have anything to do on a Friday night, one, I envy you. Two, if you're looking for something to do, you can come to our calendar and definitely find something that is interesting and fun.
Cool.
So check out IndyHub at indyhub.org. For all of our listeners and watchers, go there now. Check it out and dial in and see all the content there, as well as nomeancity.com, because that's certainly a great initiative. And go watch that video again, because it is just fantastic. It's a tearjerker.
You need a good cry.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're feeling emotional, just go watch that and just work through it. Just work it all out.
You can see that at the bottom of the screen. You can also go to facebook.com, of course, /IndyHub.org, or is it just IndyHub?
.org. But if you search, you'll find us.
You'll find it, as well as search No Mean City Indy on Facebook, Twitter, IndyHub, as well as No Mean City Indy on Instagram, IndyHub.org, and No Mean City Indy on Instagram. So
good branding, ladies. Good job.
Absolutely. No, that's fantastic.
That's right. It's important. Train your viewers.
Yep.
What to expect.
Final words to the citizens that want to get involved and what you're doing. What's our first step?
You can email us at hello@indyhub.org.
There you go.
That's a great touch point. You'll be directed to our colleague, Ashley. But honestly, if you come to our events, all of us are happy. Molly, Carissa, and I and Ashley are very happy to connect you and plug you into whatever it is you're interested in.
You're some good ladies. I like you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're doing great work. Thank you so much, Ms. Xavier. Appreciate it. Had to swing it back around.
You really committed to it.
I did.
You did.